Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about relocation playbook. I don't think there is a better qualified person to have this conversation with. I relocated from Siberia to Sydney and to New York, and I lived in Dubai, Bali, Portugal and Thailand. So there are a lot of countries that I've been to, and more than, I don't know, maybe 50 countries that I traveled to. I traveled to a lot more countries that I lived in. But why I think this conversation is important, especially while you're building your career and while you're thinking of relocation yourself, it's important to find a place that you like and you feel good in and you have the opportunities, especially while you're building your career and while you're navigating this uncertain world. There are some countries that are better than others. For example, the very first time I went to Dubai from Siberia, not because I wanted to go to Dubai desperately, but because I was living in Siberia and the only option for me at the time was to escape Siberia, and my options were limited due to visas and immigration process and my citizenship. So I chose Dubai because it was easy, it was close by, and I could finally find a place where that was international. I could find a place where I could potentially, I'm 17 at that point, I'm 18 years old at that point. Don't ask me how my parents let me go, but essentially I found a place where I think it was good for me in terms of opportunities. It was very international and there were options for my career and there were options for my life in general. In Siberia, you have a handful of options. So I wanted to find a place that will give me those options. And that's how my first relocation started. I think Dubai is still great. I probably would not choose it long term, but living there for a year or two to understand the international landscape, to meet people from all over the globe and to connect with people that you would usually not come across in your own city. Of course, it's a culture shock and it's lots of different nationalities mixed up in one little hub. However, that opens up to global opportunities, and I think that's what I wanted to do for myself, to open myself up to those opportunities that I did not have back in my hometown. So I definitely think Dubai is still great, and it's one of the safest places on earth, and I would definitely choose it again if I had to make a choice. However, some limitations of Dubai and why I left Dubai. I found myself that after approximately 3 years of living there and studying and trying to build my international career, I ran into some cultural differences, specifically that I don't even know how to say it, but the way, unfortunately, it exists in many countries, the way they would treat women, specifically in the workplace, specifically if you're a foreigner, specifically if you come from a background of Eastern Europe. It's not the same way they would treat someone that comes from the UK or even Australia. And at the time, I could see not just the different treatment in the workplace, but also the pay grade. You'll be paid less money because you have a certain citizenship. You'll be paid less money because you have a certain accent. So it was very refreshing for me to see that. It was very shocking. And I just knew that as long as I have the citizenship that I have, I will always run into the same problems. And even though I may not be able to do much with my accent or my country of origin, but being treated in a different way in a workplace, specifically in certain very male-dominated environments as a woman, it was eye-opening, and it was something that I knew that I want to step away from. I knew that that environment was not for me. So next country I went to was Australia after Dubai. I desperately needed some greenery and some fresh air, and I knew that, again, due to my citizenship and given the options that I've had at the time, I had a handful of options to go back to my country of origin, but to go to a bigger city. I also graduated from the university during that time, or immigrate to a third country. Something I didn't think well through, or didn't realize I just wanted a normal life. And I think also, it's not correct to say that I didn't think it through, but I think at the time Dubai is such a place where people come and go, and it's very busy, but it's also, you lose your sense of stability, you lose your connection to earth. And I come from Siberia. It's very important to me to be surrounded by nature, to actually have that connection to earth, to have that connection to place I live in. And I didn't quite had that in Dubai. I didn't quite was able to cultivate it. Also, I hate heat. So, but not that much, so I still chose to go to Australia. And one thing that I loved about Australia is how my men and women were treated the same way, and how easy it was for me to navigate the landscape. Even though the first few years I just had to learn English, because when I lived in Dubai, I thought I was speaking English. I think I was speaking Dubai English. And Australia gave me so much. I spent 10 years there, as you may know, and I built my career there. And I never had a question from someone why I should be in a certain room, even though it was a very similar in my first few jobs in Sydney and in Melbourne. In my first few jobs in Australia, I was in a room with only males, but I was the only woman in the room. I would be the only woman in a room, and I did not feel the same way I felt in Dubai. So that says something. I felt I'm supported, I felt I am celebrated, I felt that the world is my oyster and I could essentially become whoever I want, providing I work hard but not too hard, because funny thing in Sydney, you don't get hard, you don't get where you want to get just by working hard. So I learned that, but also I think it gave me a lot of opportunities to progress my career further, and the opportunities that I don't think I will have in Dubai, just given my baseline. So, but then at some point in Sydney, I also hit a ceiling, and that ceiling was in regards to when I originally chose Sydney. I chose it for its safety, for its beauty, for its international hub in the Pacific, and for my career. It's a bigger city. So I think Sydney is great to live life. For what I wanted to do, it started to feel like the market was too small. All the decisions were made in the US, and worst of all, I could see people in the US were promoted and upskilled and networked, and all of that movement was happening a lot faster. Between Sydney and the US, I tried to live in 3 more countries until I actually realized what I wanted. And I think my advice to anyone looking to relocate, immigrate to a new country is certainly to actually try to go there and live there for at the very least 2 months, like I did in Portugal, for example. I went to Portugal, I stayed there for 2 months. I loved the nature, I loved the community, I love the tranquility and just the peace of European life, the food. However, I found that for what I wanted at the time, and I didn't yet know, I was still figuring it out, the opportunities were just not there. The going to another country sounds great, especially fantasizing about it, but actually living in a completely new culture where you have to probably spend another 10 years to try to integrate into society, that's not something I was prepared to do, and I realized it when I was there. And I think also the pace of things that I was really excited about. I thought, oh, things are a bit more slower. So I also realized that relaxing and slowing down is not necessarily something that I wanted at this stage of my life. Then I spent a year in Thailand, in Phuket mostly. Thailand is great, and I highly recommend to visit and work here for a few months, a year if you can. And especially what's great about cheaper countries is that it's cheap. Essentially, what's great about Thailand is that you have a really good, I want to say work-life balance, but it's actually work-health balance. I have improved my health enormously in Thailand. I started to exercise a lot more because I had the just like everything was so easy. The gym was 5 minutes away from my house. I had my personal trainer. It was not that expensive. In terms of food, I started to eat better because I could afford, but I could afford to have more fruits and vegetables, and I guess it was more, my diet had more variety of things, and also everything is just so easy, but it's easy because I brought the first world country's money to a cheaper country, and that's why it was easy. So my advice for anyone looking to make a decision around relocation and a big life decision is definitely number one, definitely try to go and live there. Second is that you can actually, depending on at what stage of life you are and what opportunities you want, but I realized that I'm not yet to be at the stage of life I just want to relax and live my peaceful life. I think I still want to achieve things. That's why I'm doing this YouTube channel. I want to do more things, and I have the energy to execute and build things. So, and I know that in the right environment, I'll be able to accomplish this a lot faster. And however, if your goal in life is to save money for a house deposit, for example, that's one of the thoughts I had. I wanted to buy a house, and one of the ways that I actually realized that a lot of people doing it, but if you could afford to live in a third place, like where things are a lot more cheaper, manage and create your life in such a way that you live in a country where things are a lot cheaper, yet you are earning a salary of someone that works in New York. That's ideal scenario, because then you can save a lot of money and you can buy a house probably within a year or two. If you cannot do that, if logistically it's impossible for you, if you have family commitments, kids, that makes it a lot harder. And I think it's just that I've been quite fortunate that I could do this now, but I know that once I have children and family, it might be really hard for me to just go and wherever I want. Otherwise, living in the US is, I think, what's right for me at this point of my life. I found myself at some point in a place where I was making all this money in Australia, and the same happened in the US, but it wasn't bringing me fulfillment because I felt like I wasn't getting ahead. And I think it's really important to know why you're doing it. If I am not getting ahead financially, am I sacrificing this time? Am I getting more opportunities further down the line? Am I getting the crucial experience that I need for that next role?